Welcome to the grand opening of the Inn at Swarthmore, which includes the Broad Table Tavern and the Swarthmore College Campus and Community Store. My name is Briana Pickett, the Director of Sales and Marketing, and a little later on, after the ribbon cutting, you'll have the opportunity to tour the space and also help yourself to beverages and hors d'oeuvres. They will be located in our gathering room and our sycamore room, so feel free to help yourselves. But first, we will hear briefly from 5 individuals who are among the happiest to see this day come. They will speak in the following order. First, Valerie Smith, President of Swarthmore College. Then Tim Kearney, Mayor of Swarthmore. Randall Exon, Sarah Lawrence Lightfoot Professor of Art in the Department of Art. Marty Spiegel, Swarthmore Town Center Coordinator. And final speaker is Tom Spock, Chair, Board of Managers, Swarthmore College. And now, please let's welcome Swarthmore College President Valerie Smith.
Thank you, Briana. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful new Inn at Swarthmore. Thank you all for being here to mark this momentous occasion. As many of you know, this project began many years ago and was the result of a long and thoughtful economic revitalization project sponsored by the borough and the college. After much time, effort, and energy, this new inn, restaurant, and community and campus store link the college and the borough in new and exciting ways. I'm grateful and delighted to be here at this particular moment in our shared history. Although I wasn't here when the plans for the Inn at Swarthmore were being developed, I can honestly say that I wouldn't have changed a thing. From the placement of artwork by alumni and current students, to the use of reclaimed wood, to the soothing palette, to the light-filled spaces, to the piano in the lobby, the Inn at Swarthmore is an uplifting and inviting space. For years to come, it will serve as a compelling destination for prospective students and their families, returning alumni, and visiting scholars. Thank you to everyone who made this wonderful space possible, from the visionaries to the architects and designers, to the finance people, to the housekeepers and staff of the inn and restaurant, to the staff of the campus and community store. We're grateful to everyone who helped to make these new spaces feel warm and welcoming to all, and especially to all of you who put in Herculean efforts to ensure that the inn would open on schedule. Again, welcome everyone. Please come back and visit often. And now I turn it over to Mayor Kearney. Thank you.
Well, I'll pick it up. How about that? This has been a long time coming. I myself am still a newbie in Swarthmore. We've been here 20 years, so that's kind of the way it works. And I think that this was one of the major topics of conversation from the time since we moved here. I can remember speaking up at a public meeting about 17 or 18 years ago, and when the discussion was about whether or not the inn could have a liquor license, because Swarthmore's a dry town until Monday, right? So, at the end of the meeting, I had a nice gray-haired woman come up to me, grab me by the arm, and say, "Honey, if you ever need a drink in Swarthmore, come to my house. I can as a mayor, there from a political point of view, there's a couple people I need to recognize. I think that, 15 years ago or 10 years ago, there were a lot of people who worked from the town side that make this really happen. and that's Putty Willits, who's here today, and Eck Murner. They both labored really, spent a lot of time going to Harrisburg, going to Washington, lobbying for various things, making things happen from the borough's point of view. And through the whole thing, the kind of one constant through the whole process was really Jane Billings, our borough manager. And Jane did everything that she could from her position to sort of make sure that this was possible. This has been a long time coming, and there have been so many people from the borough side who have contributed to it. I can't possibly name them all, but how many borough council presidents, how many borough councils, how many planning commissions went through this stuff. What's really wonderful about this, though, is that you can kind of feel this thing in the air that the sort of town-gown relations are different, and it's good. It's a great thing because we are in this together. You know, when the college succeeds, the borough succeeds. When the borough succeeds, the college succeeds. So that's all I have to say. I had to admit, I had a beer in here before, which was really nice. You know? So the fact that you can actually have a beer in Swarthmore is a great thing. Now I want to introduce my friend, Randall Exon.
Thank you very much. Well, we've been talking about this inn for a long, long time, and it's amazing that it's standing here before us. I came to the college in 1982. They don't assign committees to faculty the first year, but I think it was the next year I was put on this committee, and I've been on it ever since. So I have a number of people that I want to give a shout out to this evening. I've been working on this project a long time, and this last year in particular, obviously, the heat has been on with the construction. The people at WS Cumbie have been a wonderful group to work with. You know, seeing them tonight, they look so relaxed and so healthy. 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago, you wouldn't know. Our architects at Cope Linder and their team down there, in particular I want to mention Steve Henkelman, who is I don't know if he's here, but he's a member of the community here, and important project for him, and Stan Carnes, another principal architect who was with us from the beginning. I also want to give a shout out to Simon Tickell, who we brought in about halfway on the job, who's responsible for the exterior design of the building, and was absolutely committed from the day we brought him in. And it was a lot to expect him to kind of pick up where we dropped him off. The interior designers, Floss Barber, and all the people down there, Joe Altieri in particular, the restaurant designers at DAS did, and the kitchen designers, remarkable job. Our project managers, John Chicola and Craig Morton, were terrific people to work with, and really were out looking for the best for the college, working for the college. All of these people put in so much time and effort. I can't stress how much the college appreciates that, and how much I appreciate it. I also want Sue Welsh is here tonight, and I think we've got to give her. She's was instrumental in getting this project off the ground in the beginning. I've been on a lot of building projects in my time at the college. When I was asked to be on this committee, I didn't really have strong feelings about it. I knew the community was a bit divided. I didn't have strong feelings one way or the other, but I thought it would be an interesting project, and so I said yes. I had no idea how interesting it was going to be, but the main reason that I always say yes to these building projects is that I have an opportunity to work with my friends down in facilities. And Jan Semler, who is an extraordinary person, and she's been involved in this from soup to nuts. Extraordinary. and Stu Hain, our Vice President of Facilities. The privilege of working with people with this level of talent, intelligence, knowledge, and true love for the college is just, it's been a pleasure. Now, the main reason I'm here is to talk about, at some point along the way, the idea of using student artwork and alumni artwork came up. And thankfully, the design committee went for that. The budget was there for it, and so the process began. I didn't realize what I was getting into when I proposed this, but I ran to my friends in the department, Stacy Pimento and Andrea Packard. Andrea Packard, they're right over here. Andrea Packard is our gallery director in this gallery, and Stacy Pimento is our director of visual resources in the department. We were able to secure some money to pay them, but in no way does it compensate them for the amount of time and effort they put in this. You all come in, you see these nice paintings on the wall, and it's wonderful. You shouldn't think beyond that. But the documentation, the photography, contacting the artist, agreements with the artist, selecting the artist, frames, I mean, it's just unbelievable amount of work, and we've all been working on this for 2 years. So it's culminated in the work that you see. Alumni work is on all of the public rooms, including the second and third floor hallways, and some extraordinary people, some of whom are here tonight. I can't mention everybody's name, but they're listed in this catalog. So this is the PDF of the catalog, which will also be online, so you can read about it and the kind of rationale that went behind the selection of the work and how we decided that. And I think you'll see that it's extraordinary work that our students and alumni have produced. And so I'm very proud of that, having taught here for so many years in the Department of Art. But I think it makes a truly distinctive mark on this building, and visitors coming here, I think, will learn something about the nature of the school through the artwork. So thank you.
Well, I'm Marty Spiegel, and I'm the Town Center Coordinator. I work with our businesses. I've been looking at the plans for this for the last 20 years, and I know you're all cold and want to get back inside, so I'm only going to go back 20 years. First of all, it's a joy enough just to be standing in front of this building, let alone to be given an opportunity to say a few words. So, 20 years ago, we had a presentation by Chris Lineberger, who is a urban planner and alum of Swarthmore College, who came to talk a little bit about the perils facing small inner ring suburban communities such as Swarthmore, urging us to take a proactive stand to preserve the economic vitality of our downtown. From that plan, that presentation, the college and the borough undertook to form a partnership and create the Revitalization Task Force. A number of you here were probably on that task force, a number of you at least attended the meetings. The result of the task force was a revitalization plan that was published in 1999. 34 points of the plan, basically guiding Swarthmore for the future and what needed to be done to make sure that our downtown stayed vital. Certainly behind me is the keystone of that whole plan. And I urge you, if you have any interest at all in Swarthmore, the recent history of Swarthmore and its downtown, to take a look at the revitalization strategy plan. It's online on the borough website. It's also at the library. It's a 34-point plan and just maps out exactly where they thought the borough should go. The plan was developed by a wide constituency of residents, Swarthmore College employees, borough employees, the borough council members, old, young. I mean, the constituency was wide to try to develop what was really needed in Swarthmore. What's remarkable about the plan, because I just looked at it again recently, is not so much what's contained in the plan and how pertinent it is, but how much of it has really been accomplished. Jim Hartling and Laura Meminger are here. They were the facilitators of the task force, and Jim said today that it was probably this is probably a rarity that he sees so much of a plan that actually has been accomplished. But really, when you take a look at the plan, it really is remarkable where we are today, 17 years after the publication of it. I'm stepping down from my job at the end of May because there's nothing else to be done, frankly. And people that needed to be thanked or have already been thanked. But again, just a couple of names that really, really need to be brought up. Jane Billings. I work closer to Jane than probably anybody. My desk is 2 feet from her office door. So I know what goes on. And I can't tell you enough about how lucky we are to have her managing this town. She does so much to ensure that things are done right, and I know that she's worked with both Jan Semler and Stu Hain, who have been instrumental in getting us to this point, in refining the plan and making sure that things were done in accordance with borough ordinances, etc. And I can't say enough about Jane, despite the fact that occasionally she may have to reject your request for a 12-foot stockade fence in front of her house. She does. What she does behind the scenes is just remarkable. I just want to end by thanking the college. They could have taken their resources and placed them many, many other directions, and yet they were willing, because of their commitment and their vision, along with the vision of the borough, to give us this incredible gift to our downtown that I think is going to make major change, improvements in what we have. And last but not least, I really want to thank the traffic engineers. I knew the end was going to be great, but I got to tell you, the roundabout has changed my life in ways I can't express. So, again, thank you, Swarthmore College, Swarthmore Borough. Thank you, all the residents of the town, and we'll see you inside in a little while. Tom Scott is going to come up from the Board of Managers and have a few words, and then we'll all go in and have some goodies.
So I want to start by saying, can we have a round of applause for the Marietta Brass giving us beautiful music in hazardous conditions tonight? Thank you all. We really appreciate that. Well, we have an inn. Is this amazing? To me, this is amazing. I've told Val Smith and Stu Hain and others many times, I just didn't believe I would live to see the day. And it's such a nice day. Those outdoor tables are going to be going like hotcakes, so I suggest you get over there fast. I'm the last person to speak. I promise to be mercifully brief. What I'd like to say is that as a local product, a kid that grew up around here, I have a very personal perspective on this new building. I grew up in Rose Valley, just a stone's throw away. And I spent an enormous amount of time at Swarthmore during my upbringing. My grandparents retired to Swarthmore. They lived for 15 or 20 years at 535 Cornell Ave. My high school soccer team, we did our preseason training right here on the college fields. And of course, since I can remember, every Sunday I was at the Friends meeting right here on campus. So let's just say I know this intersection really, really well, like the back of my hand. And that little road that trickled down to the field house down there, and that extremely dangerous left turn down under the underpass when I got my driver's license. And I am just so pleased that we are standing here today. And I'm glad for the support you've all given. Now we have a building that, to me, goes well beyond just a place for visitors to Swarthmore or to Swarthmore College to stay. That alone, to me, would have been ample reason for us to build this in, because it's a strong need we've had. But I believe it's much more than that. It's a way, very consciously, to knit the college and the town more closely together. I think a building just for the college would have been a mistake here. And as President Smith, as Marty, as the mayor, and others have said, this really opens up new possibilities for college parents and students and visitors to the region, everyone, as well as the town, to be able to come here and have a place to mix, mingle. It's almost like we have a real college and a real college town now, and I'm very proud of that. So I'll just close with a little anecdote I heard from the college that a Swarthmore Matchbox couple who graduated back in the 1940s, which means they're in their 90s now, have sent in an email requesting a room at the inn, preferably first floor, I guess, because they want to come back for reunion weekend, and this is going to make it possible for them. And the punchline here, they sent this in October to make sure they had a room here. I truly believe that a year from now, we're all going to look around and try and remember what life was like here before the inn came. So that's it for me. I'm really happy this project has come to fruition. Thank you all for sharing in this wonderful event. Thank you for the organizers. It's been great. I'll toss it back to Briana, and please enjoy your time here tonight. Thanks.
All right, may I have the ribbon cutters come to the front so we can officially open the building?
You'll tell me when, okay?
And then we're going to count to 3, okay? 1, 2, 3.